I wanted to record a short pre-talk talk as I come to the end of a few weeks traveling around the UK, supporting a large UK company with a frontline managers briefing program. And I've been drafted in to help them with a session on effective communication, especially in contexts where the message that their managers have to deliver is potentially a trickier or a more emotive or a difficult message. So I've been going to all the glamorous places. I've been to Warrington and Nottingham and Leeds, Exeter, Glasgow, Birmingham, and tonight I'm in Belfast, ready for a session in the morning before heading back to London next week for the final session. And in the hour or so that I have during these sessions with their people, we've crafted a toolkit to help them and resource them and enable them to have conversations in a more effective and productive way. So we've called it the Helps Toolkit because it's a toolkit that helps them to do this, which is an acronym talking about the different principles that we're trying to help them to communicate and to use in their daily conversations and their communication with their people. It's really struck me as I've been traveling around that even though this is so essential and so crucial in business, it's really, really rare that some of the larger companies take this sort of time to invest in their people, invest in their managers and leaders, rather than just assuming that they have the necessary skills already because of their position to lead and to manage teams. And they're actually taking the time to resource them, to equip them. And this is such an essential topic, the ability to communicate a company's purpose, to help all of the people who work within an organization to understand the specific part that they play in executing that purpose. And the decisions that are being made can often be tricky and change is hard, but the reasons why they're being done and the bigger picture is such an important part of helping people to have that understanding and that clarity that they in turn can then choose to behave in a way which benefits their customers and benefits the commercial bottom line of what the company's essentially trying to achieve. So within our Helps Toolkit, we've got some different principles, and a couple of the principles that I really love sharing are around the ideas of, one's around the idea of emotional validation. And when it comes to communication and conversation, sometimes, especially when we're talking to operators or people who are in a senior management position, the temptation to jump in with a solution, with the reason, with the logic, with the practical outworking of something is so strong. And yet leaving that extra space simply to validate and recognize that where someone else is coming from is perfectly okay, that emotions are neither right or wrong, and what they're feeling sometimes simply needs to be acknowledged before they're able to have that productive conversation is such a powerful thing that's helped me in personal life and also throughout my couple of decades of business experience. And the other thing that I'm talking about, one of the points in the toolkit, is the idea of different personalities. That no two people are the same, that everyone comes at a situation with their own biases, their own experience, their own history, their own past, their own context. And this company that I'm working with does this actually very well. Their managers understand their people as individuals, but it keeps striking me how powerful it is when we can have conversations at that level, when an individual can be recognized as an individual, because then the conversation, the communication we have with them can be much more tangible and much more about their specific motivations and what drives them and the parts of a company's purpose and the changes that they're outworking that maybe have a more specific impact on that specific individual. So I'm really enjoying delivering this, and just really brought home again to me and brought back into stark reality how crucial and how critical it is that companies invest in this kind of training for their people and don't just assume that they can deliver naturally in an effective way. So so Belfast tomorrow morning, then London next week, and lots of focus on communication for effective conversations. See you next time.